he may wish to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for addressing this issue. Thanks for having this hearing, and again, thank you for joining us at this hearing. It saddens me that we must be here today, and it saddens me to hear the stories of how school closures have continued to impact students, veterans' dreams of earning their degree. School closures are something that we all must try to avoid. However, they don't happen in a vacuum, and we should ask ourselves, what caused the school to close in the first place? Is it due to the increased costs associated with complying with overburdensome regulations and requirements? Is the school closing due to market pressures or simply bad management? Whatever the reason, we must do what we can to limit the impact of these closures on student veterans and taxpayers. In the Forever GI Bill, Congress did extend new protections for student veterans who are impacted by school closures, but we can do more, and I know my chairman feels the same way. I'm convinced that once appropriate mandatory offsets are identified, we should provide full restoration of entitlement to students whose school closed in the middle of the semester and who are unable to transfer their credits to another institution. At the very minimum, we should do that. Section 109 of the Forever GI Bill did authorize full restoration to certain veterans, notably for students from ITT Tech and Corinthian College, but not for current students due to cost constraints. Mr. Chairman, my staff has begun working on a bill to extend full restoration as well as to get to the heart of how these students were affected in the first place. As the old saying goes, an ounce of provision is worth a pound of cure. And the other sections of the bill that I'm working on would try to prevent student veterans from getting caught up in these closures in the first place. The bill would memorialize the best practices found in VA's Principles of Excellence, which good schools already meet, by putting them in statute and making adherence to these principles a requirement for the GI Bill approval. The bill would also require additional coordination of enforcement activities between the Department of Education, VA, and the state approving agencies. While an action by one of these entities shouldn't force an action by another, we should require that an enforcement action trigger a review of a school or program. I do not believe we need new burdensome regulations or requirements on the books to prevent school closures. We just need to do a better job enforcing the ones we already have. That's why I believe that enhanced coordination between these agencies is a critical piece in the protection of student veterans. I'm just beginning to work on this bill, and I'd like to thank Veterans Education Success and other veterans groups for their suggestions. I would certainly welcome the chairman and other members of the committee. I welcome their ideas and thoughts as we move forward with the bill. As I said at the beginning, Mr. Chairman, it saddens me that we must be here today, and I hope we can come out of this hearing with solutions and not pointing fingers. And I know you're not that type of guy. You're a solution-oriented guy, and I appreciate it very much. That's why I like working with you. And this is a real problem throughout our country, these school closures, and it is affecting our veterans. We must remember, again, that school closures impact students no matter if the school was public, nonprofit, or for-profit. We must work together and do the right thing for our veterans and not worry about the political agenda. And I know we're going to do the right thing here. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses today. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate it so very much. And I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Ranking Member.